adlaw mga kaagis! Welcome to our exploration of plant reproduction. Today we'll dive into the fascinating world of how plants create new life, both asexual and sexual methods. Let's begin by understanding what plant reproduction means and the key difference between the two methods.
Plant reproduction is the production of new offsprings in plants which can be accomplished by sexual or asexual reproduction.
Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of male and female reproductive cells known as gametes. This method brings genetic diversity, enhancing the plant's adaptation to changing environments. The offspring inherit a combination of traits from both parent plants. In summary, sexual reproduction involves two parents, each one providing reproductive cell which combine with the other parent's reproductive cell to produce a new unique cell which can develop into a new complete organism.
Most circumstances, animals reproduce by sexual reproduction. An egg cell from the female fuses with a sperm cell from the male. These reproductive cells, the egg and sperm cells, are known as gametes. And this process of fusion to form a new cell is called fertilization. Now, like all cells, the gametes contain DNA, the genetic instructions that make us who we are doing fertilization. The DNA of each parent combines, meaning that when the cells fuse, they produce a new unique cell with a combination of the DNA of each parent. This new cell is a zygote. The zygote then divides millions upon millions of times and develop into a new organism.
The same general process happens in flowering plants. They have male and female gametes which combine to produce a zygote. The male gametes of flowers are found in pollen grains, while the female gametes are found in the ovules. A fertilized ovule develops into a seed which can develop into a new plant. Unlike sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction involves one parent producing offspring which have DNA that is identical to that parent's DNA.
Two major types of sexual reproduction are syngamy and conjugation. Syngamy refers to the fusion of haploid sex cells resulting in the formation of a diploid zygote. Thus, in essence, syngamy refers to fertilization. It is the most common type of reproduction in multicellular sexual populations, including humans. Conjugation is different from syngamy in such a way that two organisms come together in a temporary fusion to exchange micronuclear material. This can be observed among single-celled organisms, such as bacteria, protozoans, and single-celled fungi. While syngamy is a permanent fusion of the two cells, conjugation is a temporary fusion of two cells.
To further understand the example of sexual reproduction, we decided to demonstrate it through seed germination. The life of a kangkong plant starts with a seed germinating into a seedling, signaling a new beginning. As the plant grows with unfolding leaves and developing roots, it thrives in its vegetative stage. In a few days, we noticed that the kangkong grew a little stem with leaves. Soon after, it grew even larger.
Asexual reproduction, on the other hand, doesn't require the fusion of gametes. This method results in generally identical offsprings or clones of the parent plant. It is a more efficient way for a plant to reproduce with conditions are stable. Asexual reproduction in plants, also known as a vegetative propagation, is a method by which plants generate new individuals without the involvement of seeds or genetic recombination. This process involves the production of offsprings that are genetically identical to the parent plant. Common methods of asexual reproduction in plants include root cuttings, stem cuttings, runners, and bulb division. Through these mechanisms, plants can efficiently reproduce and propagate desirable traits, ensuring genetic stability and continuity of particular plant varieties. Asexual reproduction is an essential strategy for plant survival and agricultural practices, enabling the rapid multiplication of valuable or preferred plant species.
Here are examples of asexual reproduction in plants. First is stem cuttings. A segment of the parent plant's stem, typically including leaves and nodes, is removed and placed in a suitable growing medium. Under favorable conditions, the cutting will develop roots and eventually grow into a new plant that is genetically identical to the parent. This method is commonly used to propagate a wide range of plants, including many houseplants and woody shrubs. Second is bulb division. Bulb-forming plants like tulips and daffodils reproduce asexually through bulb division. The parent bulb, which stores nutrients and energy, produces daughter bulbs at its base. These daughter bulbs can be separated and planted individually, resulting in new plants with the same genetic makeup as the parent bulb. The third example is air layering. Air layering is a propagation method used for certain woody plants such as fruit trees, where a portion of the stem is encouraged to develop roots while still attached to the parent plant. One common example of air layering is the propagation of the Ficus elastica, also known as the rubber tree or rubber plant. The last example is root cuttings. In root cuttings, a section of the parent plant's root is cut and planted in a suitable medium, where it develops into a new plant. Plants like roses, raspberries, and figs can be propagated through this method. Root cuttings preserve the genetic characteristics of the parent plant and are often used to maintain specific varieties and rootstocks in horticulture and agriculture. Among the four examples, the stem cutting is what we personally planted, and here is our observation. Asexual reproduction in Alokbati, demonstrated through stem cutting, showcases the plant's ability to regenerate. The process involves carefully selecting a healthy stem, allowing it to form roots and eventually growing into an independent plant that mirrors its parent's characteristics, highlighting nature's remarkable ability for genetic replication and propagation. Within a few days, we noticed the development of roots from the nodes of the stem cutting. New leaf growth followed the rooting phase, signaling the successful establishment of the new plant.
In conclusion, our exploration of plant reproduction has revealed the fascinating duality of sexual and asexual methods. Sexual reproduction involving the fusion of male and female reproductive cells creates genetic diversity and enhances adaptability in plants. Asexual reproduction, on the other hand, results in genetically identical offspring, efficiently ensuring the continuity of specific plant varieties in stable conditions. While sexual reproduction offers the advantage of genetic variation, asexual reproduction is a variable strategy for both nature and human agriculture. Whether through natural means like runners, bulbs, or cuttings, or artificial methods like micropropagation, plants employ a range of techniques to perpetuate the species and thrive in the ever-changing world of botany. Understanding these methods not only deepens our knowledge of the plant kingdom, but also in the conservation, propagation, and the cultivation of plant for various purposes, from agriculture to horticulture. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of plant reproduction. Until next time, happy gardening!